Okay, so I need you to picture this. You're scrolling through Instagram, minding your business, and suddenly, your entire feed is blowing up with one name. Actually, no, two names. And then a third one pops up like it's some kind of celebrity love triangle sequel we did not ask for, but we are absolutely here for. Because apparently, Justin Bieber has decided today is the day. The day to stir up an entire storm, make multiple bold moves, and somehow, without even trying, pull Selena Gomez and Benny Blanco into a drama spiral that's got the internet asking, wait, what year is it right now? I mean, Selena Gomez? Justin Bieber? Benny Blanco? Those three names in one headline? We already know the algorithm is screaming. And it's not just one random post or some throwaway paparazzi shot we're talking about. Oh no. This is layered. This is messy. And this feels personal. First, there's Justin. And if you've followed him at all over the past decade, you already know, when Justin makes a move online, it's never by accident. Whether it's cryptic captions, sneaky likes, or posting something so casually it's clearly not casual, the man knows exactly how to get people talking. And this time, he might have just crossed a line that even his most loyal fans are double-taking at. Because apparently, he didn't just make one move. He made two, back-to-back. The first? Let's just say, it's the kind of thing you'd only do if you wanted someone specific to notice. And spoiler, that someone was Selena. But before you think this is just another tired trip down memory lane, hold on. Because Selena didn't just stay quiet. Oh no, she shut him down. And not in some vague, maybe that was about him, way. No, people are calling it the most direct, most savage response she's given since ever. And the wildest part? She didn't even need to raise her voice. But here's where things get even more chaotic. Because just as the internet was processing that mic drop moment, Justin decided he wasn't done yet. He went and posted something on Instagram that not only dragged Benny Blanco into the conversation, but also made fans question everything they thought they knew about his relationship history. Now, if you don't know who Benny Blanco is, you should. This man is not just some random industry guy. He's a mega producer, a hit maker, and oh yeah, Selena's current boyfriend. So when Justin Bieber does anything that could be seen as poking Benny, yeah, you already know that's not going to slide under the radar. So now the internet is split. Is Justin still holding on to something from the past? Was this just him being nostalgic and misunderstood? Or was this a calculated move to shake things up in Selena's world right now, when she's finally moved on and is openly happy with Benny? And look, this isn't just a fan theory situation. We're talking timelines being pieced together, old interviews resurfacing, side-by-side screenshots, and a level of TikTok detective work that could honestly rival the FBI. People are going deep on this one. Meanwhile, Selena's handling it in classic Selena fashion, calm, collected, and with the kind of precision that makes you wonder if she's been waiting for a moment like this. And Benny? Let's just say, Benny's energy in this whole situation is not the energy of someone who's about to let things slide. But what makes this even more addictive is that no one can quite agree on what's really going on here. Is this about love? Is it about ego? Is it about clout? Or is this just Justin being Justin? Because remember, every time we think we've got this man figured out, he drops something so unexpected that the whole narrative flips. And with Selena now stepping into the mix in such a bold way, and Benny standing right there beside her, this has all the makings of a celebrity drama that's about to explode. And the best part? We're only scratching the surface. Because in the next few minutes, we're going to walk you through exactly what Justin posted, why fans think it was a direct message to Selena, how Benny's been subtly clapping back without even mentioning names, and the real reason Selena's response has people saying she might have just drawn a line in the sand. So, buckle up. Because by the end of this video, you're either going to be screaming, Justin, what are you doing? Or, oh, he knew exactly what he was doing. And honestly, I can't decide which one is more chaotic. Please don't forget to subscribe and like this video. It is free and help us bring you enjoyable content. And of course, watch till the end. At this point, I'm convinced Justin Bieber is watching Selena Gomez's every online move like a hawk. And honestly, it's starting to feel like there's a deeper story bubbling beneath the surface, one the public isn't supposed to see. It's the kind of tension you can't hide forever, the kind that creeps into public appearances, Instagram captions, and the way certain songs suddenly feel a little too personal. Selena, on the other hand, is smiling brighter than she has in years, and it's not the kind of smile you fake for a camera. It's the kind of smile that says, "I've healed, I've moved on, and I'm finally living the life I deserve." But while she's walking into her future, Justin seems trapped in the shadows of the past, and the story of how they got here is as messy as it is unforgettable. Selena Gomez's love life has always been the subject of headlines, but this chapter feels different. This isn't another rumor about who she might be texting or a blurry paparazzi shot outside a restaurant. This is the real deal. Selena is engaged to Benny Blanco, a man who, by all accounts, treats her like she's the most important person in the world. Friends say he's the calm in her storm, the reason she wakes up smiling and goes to bed feeling safe. After years of roller coaster relationships, public heartbreaks, and tear-stained award show performances, she's found something rare in Hollywood: stability. And that stability is exactly what makes Justin's behavior so glaring. People close to Justin quietly admit that he talks about Selena more than he should. It's not angry rants or bitter shade, it's something deeper, something heavier. Like a song stuck on repeat, he circles back to their story as if there's unfinished business, as if part of him still lives in 2015, when the world couldn't stop saying their names in the same breath. But here's the thing, while nostalgia can be sweet, it can also be dangerous, especially when it seeps into the foundation of your marriage. And sources whisper that Hailey Bieber has been feeling that pressure for a long time. Selena knows it too. That's why, according to insiders, she decided it was time for a conversation Justin could never misinterpret. No cryptic lyrics, no vague Instagram posts, just a direct, honest heart-to-heart. It wasn't bitter, it wasn't explosive. If anything, it was almost painfully calm. She told him she's happy, she's moved on, and it's time for him to stop holding on to something that no longer exists. She reminded him that she's engaged now, planning a wedding, and building a life with someone who doesn't just love her but protects her peace. For Selena, it wasn't about reopening old wounds, it was about closing a chapter she's been ready to let go of for years. Selena's engagement to Benny Blanco should have been the final nail in that coffin, but instead, it's thrown Justin's feelings into sharper relief. Sources say he congratulated her politely, even sincerely. But there was something in his eyes that didn't match his words. A flicker of something unresolved, something that made those closest to him exchange knowing looks. Because here's the truth, moving on isn't just about finding someone new. It's about letting go of the old, and that's a battle Justin seems to be losing. Meanwhile, Selena is thriving. She's not just in love, she's in love in a way that feels effortless. Friends say her relationship with Benny is refreshingly drama-free. No cryptic tweets, no late-night paparazzi chases, no public meltdowns. Just two people who genuinely like each other and want the same things. In an industry where relationships are often performance art, theirs feels startlingly real. And maybe that's what makes it so threatening to those who can't seem to move on. Selena's decision to speak directly to Justin wasn't just about closure, it was about drawing a line in permanent ink. She's engaged. She's happy. And she's not carrying the weight of someone else's feelings anymore. For her, it's simple. The past is over, the future is hers, and anyone still standing in 2016 needs to catch up or be left behind. And that's the irony of this whole saga. The world watched Selena fall apart in public, the heartbreak, the hospital stays, the quiet disappearances from social media. They watched her rebuild herself piece by piece, turning pain into art, scars into strength. And now, when she's finally arrived at the life she's been chasing, it's Justin who's stuck in the past. But maybe that's the point. Maybe some love stories aren't meant to end cleanly. Maybe they leave splinters behind, tiny reminders that no matter how much time passes, there are pieces of you that will always belong to another person. The problem is, those splinters can hurt everyone around you if you don't find a way to pull them out. And if Justin doesn't, he risks losing more than just his peace. He risks losing the life he's built in the years since Selena walked away. Selena, for her part, isn't looking back. She's walking toward the altar with a clear mind, a full heart, and a man who sees her not as a memory, but as his future. And that's why her smile looks different now, because it's no longer a mask. It's the face of a woman who survived the storm, found the sun, and refused to let anyone drag her back into the rain. But here's the question: why now? Why, after years of silence, did Selena feel compelled to make such a definitive statement? The answer, according to people who've watched this saga unfold, is simple. Justin's fixation had started to bleed into his marriage in ways that could no longer be ignored. Hailey has been patient, they say, but even patience has limits. Imagine building a life with someone while knowing a ghost from their past still lingers in the room. Imagine hearing that ghost's name in interviews, seeing it in fan tweets, and feeling it in moments when your partner drifts away into memories you'll never fully understand. That's the reality Hailey has been living in, and it's a reality that could crack even the strongest bond. And while Selena isn't responsible for fixing that, she's made it clear she's not part of Justin's life anymore. Her name has a way of stirring the pot whether she wants to or not. That's the curse of being half of one of the most famous young couples in music history. Their love story wasn't just theirs. It belonged to the public, to the fans who dissected every Instagram post, every lyric, every sideways glance at an awards show. And for some, it never really ended, even though it's been years since they called it quits. Selena's engagement to Benny Blanco should have been the final nail in that coffin, but instead, it's thrown Justin's feelings into sharper relief. Sources say he congratulated her politely, even sincerely, but there was something in his eyes that didn't match his words. A flicker of something unresolved, something that made those closest to him exchange knowing looks. Because here's the truth, moving on isn't just about finding someone new. It's about letting go of the old, and that's a battle Justin seems to be losing. The years that followed were a blur of breakups and makeups. One day they were spotted kissing on a yacht. The next, they were unfollowing each other on Instagram. Justin would release a song that sounded suspiciously like an apology. Selena would post a cryptic caption about self-worth, and the fan theories would explode. It wasn't just a relationship, it was a storyline, and the world couldn't look away. Even when they weren't officially together, their lives kept colliding. They'd run into each other at award shows, share brief text conversations that inevitably leaked to the press, and occasionally be seen in the same city without explanation. And each time, the old emotions seemed to resurface, not just for them, but for the millions of fans who had emotionally invested in their story. For Justin, those years were tumultuous in more ways than one. His image shifted from teen idol to troubled star, his personal struggles playing out in headlines almost weekly. He was open about his battles with mental health, addiction, and faith, and through it all, Selena's name remained a constant in the conversation. Even as he began a new chapter with Hailey, there were subtle reminders of his past, whether in interviews, paparazzi questions, or the haunting way certain lyrics seemed to echo old wounds. Selena, meanwhile, was navigating her own storms. Between health scares, public breakups, and battles with anxiety, she retreated from the spotlight more than once to focus on healing. Her music became more introspective, her interviews more guarded. But each time she re-emerged, she seemed stronger, more sure of herself, as if she was slowly building a version of her life that didn't include the chaos of her past relationships. And now she's there. She's not chasing closure because she already has it. She's not looking over her shoulder because she doesn't need to. She's engaged to a man who makes her feel safe in ways that go beyond romantic gestures, a man who's been in her corner long before romance entered the picture. Benny isn't trying to rewrite her past, he's helping her write her future. But Justin? He's still standing in the doorway of a chapter that's been closed for years. And as the whispers grow louder about the tension this causes in his marriage, one thing becomes clear: if he doesn't find a way to truly move forward, he risks losing more than just his peace of mind. Selena's final conversation with him wasn't just a personal milestone, it was a symbolic one. It was her way of saying, "This story is over. I've turned the page. You need to do the same." Whether he will or not remains to be seen, but one thing is certain. Selena Gomez is no longer defined by Justin Bieber. She's defined by the life she's built in his absence, and by the joy she's found in a love that doesn't require her to relive her past to prove it's real. And that's why her smile is different now. It's not the smile of a girl trying to convince the world she's okay. It's the smile of a woman who is okay, more than okay, and who refuses to let anyone dim the light she fought so hard to find. In other news, it started with a song. Not an official release, not a planned drop, not even a cryptic story with big announcement soon in neon letters. Just a quiet, uncaptioned post from Justin Bieber on Instagram, a few hazy photos, a snippet of music, and absolutely no context. If you've followed Bieber long enough, you know that when he goes cryptic, the internet goes detective. And this time, the trail led to one place: Selena Gomez. Well, and maybe Benny Blanco, depending on how closely you read between the lines. But let's rewind, because this isn't just about one song. This is about a string of carefully chosen lyrics, strategically timed photos, fan-fueled speculation, and one of the most unspoken yet heavily implied love triangles in pop culture history. Before we're done, we're going to walk through Justin's posts one by one, break down the possible meanings, and ask the real question. Is Bieber speaking in poetic code, and if so, who's he speaking to? Or maybe, just maybe, who's he speaking about? It was a throwback. A deep cut. A track that most casual pop fans wouldn't even recognize. Wish I Had Not Said That by J.J. Cale. A song steeped in regret, longing, and that kind of weary nostalgia you only feel when you've lost something you can't get back. The kind of track that hits you in the gut because it feels like it's coming from someone who's been through the emotional wars and is just tired of fighting. Justin didn't explain why he posted it. He didn't give us a caption, didn't hashtag it with #NowPlaying, didn't even mention the artist. He simply let the lyrics float out into the feed. The part he shared? Brutal in its honesty. If I could only close you out of my mind. If I could taste you once again, feel the pain and the pleasure. We could make it to the end. Wish I had not said that, baby. Fans didn't need to be told who you was. They decided for him. And the collective guess was obvious: Selena Gomez. The on-again, off-again, first love heartbreak that shaped both of their early careers and personal lives. But was that the real intention? Or was Bieber simply resonating with the song's emotion without aiming it at anyone in particular? That's where the debate began. Because when it comes to Justin's social media, context is everything, and lately, the context was getting suspiciously personal. Then came the second shot in what fans were starting to call Bieber's cryptic trilogy. This time, the post included what looked like a FaceTime screenshot with Hailey, his wife. On the surface, it seemed like a cute couple's moment. But the song playing in the background? Not exactly lighthearted. The lyrics, "Oh, I can't love you. I really don't think that I can. Oh, I can't love you 'cause I don't like the man I am." Ouch! Suddenly, the sweet call with Hailey took on a different tone. Fans were torn. Was Justin simply vibing to a song with no deeper meaning? Or was he using music as a mirror, projecting something raw and unspoken? The ambiguity was enough to fuel endless TikToks analyzing every frame of the screenshot. People zoomed in on his expression, her smile, the lighting, the background. Every detail became a clue. And here's the thing about Bieber. He knows how the internet works. He's been famous since he was a teenager. He understands that you don't post lyrics like that next to a picture with your wife without knowing exactly what people will think. Which leaves us with two possibilities. He wanted us to think that, or he wanted us to think that we were wrong. Either way, the seed was planted. The trilogy completed itself with a softer song. Lighter, sweeter, almost whimsical. This time, Bieber paired the post with a photo of him blowing a kiss. The lyrics? "In heaven, nothing will matter anymore." Not in a bad way like before, 'cause we'll be sure that we're in heaven. It sounded like peace. It sounded like closure. But it also sounded like someone daydreaming about escape, about leaving behind all the mess, all the pain, and starting over in some idealized, consequence-free place. Depending on your perspective, that's either romantic or deeply sad. But here's where things got even more intriguing. That kiss-blowing gesture? It's not random. Longtime fans pointed out that Bieber has used it repeatedly over the years, almost as a signature move. And in one of his songs, he's even immortalized it in the lyrics. Coincidence? Possibly. But if you've been following the timing of all this, it starts to feel less like coincidence and more like choreography. And just when the fandom thought they'd hit peak theory mode, the cat appeared. Selena Gomez had recently posted a sweet photo of herself holding a cat in her lap. 2 days later, Justin appeared on Instagram wearing a hoodie and beanie covered in little cartoon cats. It could have been random. It could have been fashion. It could have been nothing. But in the context of everything else, suddenly, it felt like a quiet nod, a tiny visual breadcrumb in a trail that fans were now sprinting down. Then came the "I.O. Eddie" caption. On the surface, just 2 words. But to anyone who had been following the "I.O. Benny" trend, where fans claimed they'd treat Selena better than her boyfriend Benny Blanco, the parallel was glaring. Was Justin intentionally echoing the phrase? Was it shade at Benny? Or was it an inside joke so niche that it accidentally triggered an entire theory storm? The ambiguity was delicious. And when Justin paired that post with yet another song about valuing a woman in ways her ex never did, the speculation reached a boiling point. Fashion is never just fashion in celebrity world. A hoodie is not just a hoodie. A beanie is not just a beanie. And a print is never just a random print, not when it comes to Justin Bieber. That's why the internet all but froze when, just 2 days after Selena Gomez's cozy photo with a cat in her lap hit her Instagram, Justin was spotted in a hoodie and beanie covered in cats. Tiny cartoon cats. Whimsical, maybe. Harmless, sure. But in the hands of a fandom already piecing together a larger puzzle, it became fuel. TikTok was the first to pounce. Side-by-side edits popped up almost instantly, Selena's cat in her lap on one side, Justin's cat-covered hoodie on the other. The captions ranged from coincidence? I don't think so, to "this man is out here speaking in feline." Within hours, the theory evolved. Was Justin using fashion as a quiet callback to Selena's post? Was it nostalgia, shade, or simply a strange twist of timing? And the fact that the beanie was pulled low, almost hiding his eyes, only added to the cryptic aesthetic people were already convinced he was going for. But here's the thing, Justin has been known to troll. It wouldn't be out of character for him to wear something he knew would trigger a reaction just to watch the internet run with it. And if that's what he was doing, it worked flawlessly. Then came the Instagram post that sent the Benny Blanco part of the fandom into overdrive. Justin captioned a photo, "I.O. Eddie." On its own? A bit random, a bit quirky, very Bieber. But here's the twist. It came just days after "I.O. Benny" started trending, a phrase that essentially became a rallying cry for Selena Gomez fans who claimed they'd treat her better than Benny Blanco does. The resemblance in phrasing was impossible to ignore. Within minutes, theories exploded. Some argued that "I.O. Eddie" was a thinly veiled mockery of the "I.O. Benny" trend, possibly poking fun at fans themselves. Others saw it as a subtle swipe at Benny, especially when paired with the fact that Justin also included lyrics in the same post about valuing a woman in ways her ex never did. Add in the long, tangled history between Justin, Selena, and Benny, a history that's more whispered about than publicly acknowledged, and suddenly the "I.O. Eddie" post didn't feel so random anymore. Of course, there's always the possibility that "I.O. Eddie" is nothing more than an inside joke or a reference only Justin's inner circle understands. But the internet thrives on ambiguity, and Bieber had just handed it another riddle to solve. The latest twist in this saga, and maybe the most telling, came when Bieber posted a snippet of music no one saw coming. No caption, no emojis, no hashtags. Just the lyrics playing over a set of moody, almost cinematic photos that seemed to hint at a new era of music in the works. The song? Yet another deep-cut track drenched in longing and emotional complexity. Without context, it's impossible to know whether the post was meant as a personal confession, a tease for new material, or both. But by this point, it almost didn't matter. The fandom had its puzzle pieces, and they were going to keep rearranging them until the picture made sense. So here we are, thousands of words later, still circling the same core mystery. What exactly is Justin Bieber trying to tell us? Is it a love letter, a confession, a dig, or a diversion? Or is it, in classic Bieber fashion, a mix of all of the above? Maybe that's the point. Maybe the beauty of these posts isn't in cracking the code, but in watching how the world tries to crack it. Every theory says more about the person making it than it does about Bieber himself. And maybe he knows that. Maybe that's the real game. Either way, the posts are out there, the lyrics are stuck in our heads, and the speculation isn't slowing down anytime soon. So tell me, what do you think? Is this the most poetic shade we've ever seen? Or just a man vibing to his playlist with no hidden agenda? Drop your conclusion in the comments. The internet is listening.